Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another day, another qualifier here for the RSL, the Revival StarCraft League 2025 Season 1. I'm, of course, SI VIP. With me, I'm joined by these amazing players, by the people in chat, and by the plushies as well. Welcome, one and all. This is our second broadcast of the day. We were live earlier this morning with the OSC mid-season playoffs. Unfortunately, I'll say it again, we did not cover KSL today. We were busy covering OSC, and of course, we had to get a little bit of rest before coming into RSL tonight, so we did miss out on KSL. We'll be catching up in 2 weeks' time with the Korean StarCraft League. That's just how busy our schedule is. We have found a slot available in 2 weeks. We'll be all over that. But now, though, we're jumping into the qualifiers. Here we go. Spawning in the right-hand corner of ley lines, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the blue Protoss. It is Creator. For his new team, for Kadzia Esports. Okay. Kadzia, yeah. I gotta get used to it. Spawning in the one-hand corner. In the one-hand corner, we have the pink Protoss player representing Bing Bong Exports. It is Azura. I'll be honest, maybe I'm just hungry. I just want to say El Casadilla Esports, papi. Ay. Al Kadzia. There we go. Al Kadzia Esports. God damn. But regardless, here we go. We're jumping into our PvP. For those that are curious, exclamation mark, be in the chat if you guys are going to have a look at the bracket yourselves. The bracket is live. The bracket is a little bit slim here today, I will say that at least. It is a little bit slimmer. I don't think as many Korean players are aware of this qualifier. For those that are curious, the RSL, the Revival StarCraft League, is an initiative initiated here and brought together by those working in South Korea, by State, by Tasteless, by Ziggy, and by Gemini as well, by the foreign community content creators, and by those in Korea coming together, making a Patreon and hosting an offline event. I say an offline event, I believe they're going to be casting from a studio. I believe they have rented and they're setting up a studio to broadcast the main event, and I do believe they plan on hosting the finals live and flying players over. I say finals, maybe the playoffs as well, depending on how much support they do gain via Patreon. Al Amigo Esports. See, papi, see. Let's go. God damn. But yeah, shout out to Creator. Fun fact, by the way, we do host the podcast on a weekly basis where we go over all the news, and right after we ended the podcast this week, bam, we got the announcement that Creator joined a new team. It was after the podcast. Like, god damn, every time, unironically, like it happens so often where we finish the podcast and then we have a player sign up. It's like, god damn it. So at this point, we have all the players join new teams. If you remember, 3 weeks ago, we spoke about how we were missing a team for Gumiho, missing a team for Creator, and missing a team for Zoun. I was a little bit before that. Missing a team for Classic, missing a team for Australia, and all those players have since gotten a team, except Showtime as well. I believe Showtime recently joined a new team, Gumiho got a new team, Creator got a new team. The only player missing is now Australia. He's the only one that is currently teamless. We are expecting him to join a new team, but I feel like a lot of it is going to be predicated on how he performs at DreamHack Dallas. So depending on how DreamHack Dallas does go, I mean, we'll see if Australia is able to get a spot, able to make it to EWC, bearing in mind that, of course, EWC spots are quite limited to be a part of the Esports World Cup. So again, it's going to be quite crucial when it comes to getting into that event and how many spots are available and how performances are in these big offline tournaments. Until then, though, we're going to be settling in. Do have our 2-get opener into expansion at a Creator, likewise 2-get opener into expansion from Azura as well. So far, so good. We're settling in. We have a bit of a more standard opener, at least initially. Here we go. A lot of players don't want to play here. Yeah. I think a lot of it is just, I think probably a lot of players just aren't as aware. They aren't as aware of the events. Otherwise, focusing on GSL, bearing in mind that GSL Season 2 qualifiers are next week. That's also, I'm sure, a factor. All the other events that are going on, but it's all good. It's all good. We appreciate the players that are competing and taking part in today's qualifier. Do appreciate it. But now, though, we do have our Twilight Council opener out of Azura, going into Blink. Likewise, Creator doing the same. So both players taking the same direction. Azura does poke out, it does have 2 reps to threaten the shade, slipping to the main, and so far they do get in. I'll slip in. Oh, also before I forget, sorry, it was a bit of a chaotic start here, but predictions in the chat are now open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series, on who you think will make it through. Best of luck in the chat. Oh, as Force is going to be thrown down. Creator is thrown away from his own natural. The boys are being pulled and probes are going down. Yeah, boys are falling, but alas, we also locked down the Stalkers as well. Blink is not done, and the Shield are putting in a lot of work. The probes, they win the fight. Oh my god, the boys are crazy. 4 probes go down, but the boys, they survive on their own even without any Stalker support. The hell just happened? that one Shield battery was just putting in the work. 4 probe kills. Creator, he does defend, he does hold, mate. His probes are built different, and with that he moves out. He does move out, he does counterattack. Azura, he bled out. Look at these trades. 2 adepts, 1 stalker, 1 sentry for 4 probes. That was like a 1-to-1 trade for like units wise. Mate, those probes are crazy. Oh my god. And Blink is now done. Creator, he dives into the main, does get into the economy. Picking up some workers, like Azura trying to keep up. Blink is still not yet done. After his piling goes down, D powers the Twilight Council, still no Blink. Blink is delayed, 3 probe kills. Creator, he rotates. We're gonna pull Azura apart. Does look to pull him apart. Azura setting up a proxy across the map, getting ready for a 2-base all-in. Creator does rotate. Azura trying to find a way out. So far it is denied. Blink is finally gonna finish. Finally does complete. And how many gateways are we on? We have 4 gateways back at home. We have a proxy 5th gateway across the way. So again, it's going to be a 5-gate, 2-base all-in out of Azura. Meanwhile, Creator expands. Oh boy. Creator, he expands. Creator, he's on a much lower gateway count, but he's taking up into charge, into immortal production as well. In a longer game, Creator, he will outscale Azura, but only in a longer game. And Azura, he's here to end it. He's here to end it here and now. He does have a Stalker lead. But the shield battery is done. Likewise, sentries are here for force fields. Can Creator hold on? So far, does engage. Force fields coming in. Trying to reduce service area, trying to force back some of their stalkers. A good 4 or 5 of them are not attacking. Immortal moving in. The Immortal has arrived. And remember, the longer this goes on, the better it is for Creator. Azura, he has to end it here and now. He cannot let this go and dives in. Dives in, takes out the Immortal, does 2 shots, not bad. Immortal goes down likewise against some wasted DPS here. We have what, like 6 stalkers in the backline, not quite attacking. Again, clutch force fields here by Creator. But the sentries go down. Looking at the unit type here. Azura still has the Stalker lead. The next is tanking a bunch of shots. Stalker goes down. Oh, Azura bleeding out too much here. Azura bleeds out a lot of Stalkers. And Creator, he holds. Creator, he's holding on. He's defending. The Immortal has arrived. The army is low, but I can say the same for Azura. And Adepts, they get in. Just they bust into the main. 6 more probes go down. Azura is all in to begin with. The Immortal does survive. And Creator holds. Creator, he holds on. He shuts down the main army. Shuts down the all-in. Chases this all the way back to the proxy. And Azura, he's running out of steam. He's running out of units. Behind this, oh, he expands. That is a very late 3rd base. And it's a very sad 3rd as well. This is, he's realized. He realized that the all-in has failed. The all-in is not going to work. But Azura, he is so far behind. The 3rd of Creator already up and running. He's up, what, 15 workers? Just under that. Up over 10. And soon Creator's going for a counterattack. We're waiting for one thing, for the War Prism. Prism is on the way. +1 is already done. Creator, he throws down a bunch of gateways, and now it's time for Creator to move out. And Azura, he's just not built for this. He's not built up for this, I should say. Azura, he is now down in upgrades, down in economy, down in supply, down in tech. The game was not meant to last this long. Now Creator's moving in, just waiting for his War Prism, waiting for his reinforcements. Gets a 4th base as well. And GG gets called. Creator, he will take game number 1. GG. GG, well played again. Creator able to stabilize, able to defend, able to survive the initial 2-base all-in. But it wasn't just that. He was able to harass across the map, able to delay the push, snipe some pylons, snipe some stalkers, get into the mineral line as well. It was a very impressive defense that Creator had initially before all of that, which was being able to hold on to the natural base with the bare minimum. Remember, he had his ramp force fielded. He had no stalkers on the low ground. He had 0 fighting units, and he held with the boys and with the shield battery. It was crazy. It was crazy impressive what Creator was able to perform without any stalkers himself. Held and then was able to snowball from there. GG. GG well played. With that, Creator takes the lead, and now we're getting ready for game number 2. Okay, we're getting into game 2, and we'll see if Azura can bounce back and recover as we load into Maganatha, the largest map in the map pool. Let's go. We go. So you're loading into game 2 and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Maganatha. We have the blue Protoss player. We have the South Korean Protoss representing his new team, representing Al Kazia Esports. It is Creator. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the Italian Protoss player, the red Protoss representing Bing Bong Exports. It is Azura. We go and welcome one and all to the largest map in the map pool. Welcome to Maganatha. You don't get larger than Maganatha here. The rush distance by ground is very long, and likewise there are plenty of bases, plenty of expansions, plenty of rocks as well to knock down, to delay attack paths, to slow down your opponent, to try to wall up and try to force a longer game state. As much as I say that, this is also a PvP, and because of the warping mechanic, despite the size of the map, doesn't matter. You can set up a proxy, you can still commit to an all-in, you can still be hyper aggressive here in PvP. We saw the attempted 2-base all-in from Azura last game, going up to 5 gateways with a proxy gate. We could see something similar, but I'll be honest, I'm not too fond of the idea of going for 2 builds in a row, especially if you have a very specialized cheese or all-in, and trying to do it 2 games in a row is very difficult, especially at this level of play. You would expect Creator to be more on the lookout for that sort of thing. So I would hope to see something a little bit different instead. I would hope. As we are building up and settling in. Oh. So far, we do have our initial 2-gate opener out of Creator. Likewise, we have our gate cyber expand out of Azura. Let's go! Economic opener here. Azura doing his best Max impression. So we have Azura being the defender this time, and Creator can choose to be the aggressor as he does open up double adept. So basically what's happening here is that Azura, he's going to be cutting a gateway in favor of a faster Nexus, but because of the pylon block, the Creator, he's going to be forcing out a Stargate. He'll force out tech before the expansion. As so far the pylon blocks are upon us, the natural is being delayed. Senji pops out, another pylon gets thrown down. Again, Creator just trying to delay as much as possible. Azura, he refuses to throw down that Stargate. Look at the bank for Azura. He's got 500 minerals. And there it is. There's the expansion. It's going to be a late natural base, but natural first regardless. He refuses to throw down that tech. He doesn't throw down the Stargate. And Azura does have the faster Nexus. Creator not too far behind him. You can see here, Creator, he did open up double Adept into double Stalker. Behind this does squeeze out a Nexus. Adepts are here. And they do not get in. So he does hold for now. Does defend. Does defend. The Creator going for a Robo opener back at home into Immortal production. Adepts once again, they threaten the shade. Azura does have a higher probe count, and Azura will have the better economy. Initially, the pressure is on Creator to get some damage done, as Creator has a later expansion and a lower probe count. Creator backing in. Does break it. Oh. Again, behind this, Robo about to complete. No other tech here, so this should be for early Immortal production. There we go, Immortals on the way. A bit of a supply block there will slow down Creator, but for the most part is settling in. Building up set Immortals. Ooh, Adept's taking him into the shade. 2 probes already going to be going down. Can he get 3? He can. Can he get 4? Ooh, it's not quite. Not quite, but 3 probes do fall. With that, the worker count is now even. Oh, and Azura going for Glaive Adepts. So this is a 2-base all-in. Azura can get a third Nexus with this, but for the most part, this is hyper-aggressive, hyper-committed. Basically, Glaive Adepts, they do not scale well into a longer game, but they do a great job in the early to mid-game when it comes to tanking for Immortals. Before Charge Lords come into play, Adept Immortal can trade quite well against pure Stalker-based compositions. Hallucination doesn't quite confirm what's going on, not fully aware. This is a build that was popularized a year ago at this point by Hero. Hero was very fond of this, and it permeated throughout the scene. Yep, Gateway Explosion, 2-base all-in. So 2-base all-in here from Azura. Back at him, Creator, he's going for his own Immortal production himself and going for a much later Twilight Council, most likely into Blink, or he might skip Blink and go straight into Charge. But now the Creator, he is maintaining map control, at least trying to. Picking up, dropping into the main. Let's go. Poking at the natural. Army gets spotted. Azura, he has yet to really hit his stride. He needs a little bit more time for his upgrades and for his weapons. Meanwhile, the Prism is going to be going down. Takes a lot of hits, takes a lot of damage. Adepts a shade into the mineral line. Probe's going to be going down. Creator, he fails to get in with his Prism, but he does distract. Gets 2 workers so far. Prism pulls away. And he gets 3 workers, 4 workers in the main. It gets some damage. More importantly, what did he see? He saw the gates. He saw the gateway explosion. He knows there is no expansion. There's no third base. He is fully aware. And back at him, he needs to start getting ready as more gateways are being thrown down. How many gates? We have so far 4 in the main and 2 more. So going for a 6-gate, 2-base all-in. Oh. And Creator, he is distracting. Behind this, Creator taking another base. Getting into Blink, not Charge, so it's going to be Blink Stalkers and Immortals. Shield batteries on the way, and Azura, he has to commit. Again, the longer this game goes on, the worse it is for Azura. We got to send it. Upgrades are ready. But it was Azura, he bled out so many workers in the lead up to this. 7 pros went down. Maybe thinking like, oh, do workers really matter when you're going for the all-in? I would say the workers matter even more because you have a low worker count to begin with. Like, you need that economy to sustain the all-in. And here we go. Azura pushing forward. Oh! Does force field. Prism is here to help juggle back. Nice kind of force fields out of Creator. He does zone Azura away. He's buying time. More Adepts are warping in. Again, Azura's got 2 Immortals behind this. Meanwhile, 3 Immortals for Creator. I mean, remember, he went for the Robo Opener. And a better concave for Creator. He locks down those Immortals. Yeah, Creator, he's shutting this down. He's just completely shutting this down. I mean, it also helps that Creator did open up Robo, so just faster Immortal production. More Immortals in general. Falling back to the shield batteries. But Creator only fighting with half his army. Oh! Nice control. Saves the Immortal. Yeah, it does fall back. Trying to flank in from behind. Some of the Stalkers are stuck in the backline, though. They're not quite able to help here. Creator has to push in, and he does get an Immortal. He gets 1. He trades 1-to-1. 1 Immortal left here for Azura. Yeah, 1 Immortal remaining. He does blink in. Prism goes down, and Creator, he holds. He holds. He shuts down the army. Takes down every Immortal. Now there's 4 Adepts left. 5 even. And they're going to be cleaned up. We have a Desperation Shade, but Creator, he walls off. GG gets called. Creator, he holds. He shuts down the all-in, and Creator, he will take the series 2-0. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Again, Creator, remember, he happened to already open up Robo, which is a very safe way to open up with those early Immortals. He even had an overwhelming, or I should say, a greater Immortal count than the player all-inning, which was ideal. Likewise, Blink, it did kick in towards the end there. He had the greater concave, he had shield batteries coming into play, he had the shield battery overcharge as well, or I should say the energy overcharge. And with that, Creator, he was able to hold quite nicely. And on top of that, it was brutal that Azura, he bled out a lot of probes in the lead up to that fight, in the lead up to that all-in. It was brutal. It did mean that he hit a little bit later, and he had less reinforcements, less warp-ins. GG. GG, well played. With that, Creator, he doesn't advance on to a qualifying match. Let's go. As we can take a moment here to have a look at the bracket itself. Here we go. Sorry, so we're switching our scenes over and catching up on the bracket. We do have SHIN and Creator. SHIN and Creator, they do advance on. Unfortunately, we were going to be actually casting SHIN versus Rise initially. We're going to be waiting for SHIN versus... We were going to be covering SHIN versus Rise, but they did... there was a walkover, unfortunately, so SHIN did advance on already, and we have our next series. It's going to be SHIN versus Creator in the first qualifying match. As a reminder, top 2 qualify, so the semifinals are those qualifying matches, and both of them are going to be casted. Both of them are going to be covered. Currently, Gerald versus Rex is underway. They're being covered by State and Gemini. Shout out to the Protoss duo covering that series. They're casting on their own respective channels, and when they wrap up Gerald versus Rex, we're going to be jumping into SHIN versus Creator in that best of 5. Let's go. Likewise, we have Zoun versus Mocha also facing off in the upper portion of the bracket, also soon to wrap up as well. It's looking like potentially a PvP up there, but best of luck to Rex. I do hope that he's able to make a series out of it. Best of luck. Best of luck to Rex. As we'll see if they are able to force that ace match. Otherwise, it does give us some time here. Qualifying match to set up. Because of the smaller turnout for this qualifier, it does mean that the broadcast is going to be a little bit shorter here, but as I mentioned, we'll be covering both qualifying matches, the bottom qualifying match and the upper one as well. We'll be all over it. We got you. And we got you. Just setting things up. How many more games? 3, yes. We have potentially 2, maybe 3 series left. Remember, the finals is not played. So we have SHIN versus Creator as the first qualifying match. We have Zoun versus the winner of Gerald and Rex as the second qualifying match. So those are going to be 2 series. If Rex and Gerald go to the ace match, we'll jump in. We'll jump into the ace match. So we might be able to catch the tail end of Gerald and Rex if they go to game 3. That is a big if though. I believe Gerald is up 1-0. Up 1-0. Quarterfinals, beautiful. Otherwise, hope you've all been enjoying yourselves. Hope you've all been having a good day. As I mentioned before, again, we were live earlier this morning with the OSC mid-season playoffs, so this is our second broadcast today. Thankfully, it might be a little bit of a leaner one, just because we do have another broadcast later on tonight. Later on tonight, we're going to be covering the Anonymous Cup. That's going to be another fun one where for the Anonymous Cup, it is going to be a best-of-1 King of the Hill style format, where the viewers get a chance to earn money, and the viewers are going to be looking to predict who the players are. So a bunch of best of ones. All the players are going to be playing on alternate ID accounts, and based on the performances, you get to choose after each game who you think that player is. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting format. There's going to be a Google Doc. We'll be linking it in the chat. There's going to be a Google Doc, and you can fill out the name of the player, their alternate ID, and who you think they are, and you can submit, of course. I think it also requests like PayPal details as well, as you can earn money through it. I say you can earn money. Basically, at the end of the event, the person with the most accurate predictions, the person in the chat with the most accurate predictions, they walk away with some prize money. But that'll be later on tonight. Also, when it comes to the RSL, I don't think we have a command in the chat, but I got you covered here. If you want to help support the Revival StarCraft League, again, this is all organized and hosted by those in South Korea. I'm referring to Gemini, referring to State, Tasteless, Ziggy as well, and many others behind the scenes. They're all hard at work when it comes to bringing you this event. You can help support it via Patreon. They do have a Patreon, and I will link it in the chat. So if you want to help support those working on the RSL, they got you covered. You can do so via Patreon. They have different tiers, depending on how much you want to support. As this weekend is the qualifiers. 3 days. 3 days of qualifiers. We already had the NA qualifier yesterday. We just wrapped up, we're here in the middle of the Korean qualifier, or the Asia qualifier, and tomorrow is going to be the European qualifier. So plenty of qualifiers. When it comes to covering the main events, I believe that'll be taken care of by, you know, the main casting team. We're only here for the qualifiers, from my understanding. Just the qualifiers. For now, though, we are going to be going on a short break. And when we come back, we'll have our next series. Again, we're either going to have the ace match of Rex and Gerald, or we will have SHIN versus Creator in the first qualifying match. One of the two. So we're going to be going on a short break. We'll see you guys soon after the break. See you soon, Pappy. See you soon. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the 2025 RSL Revival Season 1 Asia Server Qualifier. We are here with our very first qualifying match. Again, a bit of a shorter, bit of a briefer qualifier here, but regardless, we have some quality players here. We have our best of 5 ZVP ready for you. Let's go. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Incorporeal, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg, representing Weibo Gaming. It is SHIN. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing his new team, representing El Kadzia Esports. It is Creator. Al Kadzia, not El Kadzia. God, I still want to say El Quesadilla. But if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will qualify for the main event. As a reminder, single elimination bracket here. One of these two will make it into the main event. The other will have to try again during another qualifier, as there is still one more qualifier remaining. Bear that in mind so they have another chance. But the last qualifier is going to be tomorrow. It's going to be a European server qualifier, not a Korean server qualifier. So it is going to be difficult for the Koreans to actually take part, to actually play through that ping and make it through. Not impossible, but it is going to be a taller ask here for them. So ideally they want to make it through this qualifier instead. But now Hatchcast full standard opener out of SHIN. Likewise, Creator going for the gate, expand into Cybercore. Standard openers all around, and welcome to Incorporeal. Again, one of the larger maps in the map pool. Large map, long rush distance by ground, plenty of bases, and we do expect a longer game state. I say we expect a longer game state. SHIN is known for his aggression. He's known for his mid-game. And that's where he thrives. That's where he thrives the most. That's where he can be, that's where he can shine. That's where he can take it to the best of them. Even players like Hero, even players like Max can struggle against the aggression of SHIN. But what I will say is that Creator is typically very defensive in this matchup. He's typically, I would say, the most defensive Protoss in Korea. I mean, compared to Hero and Classic and Zoun, I mean, they're a lot more aggressive, a lot more active. Creator, he often does go for more defensive plays. Not saying that he will every game, not at all, but he's more willing to go for, I don't know, say a Stargate opener into a Robo, for example, into a Mortal Archon, or into earlier Colossus, or just a more defensive style, very similar to Showtime, in a sense, similar. But we'll see. We'll see. Again, Creator, he's willing to be aggressive at times. For now, Stargate opener back at home. With the Stargate going to be opening up Oracle, you would imagine, could open up Void Ray instead to hunt down Overlords. Creator does have options. We'll see if it's going to be Void Ray or the Oracle. Oracle would be more standard, more economic. Void Ray would be to high tech and to try to give or kind of shroud himself in some ambiguity here and try to keep SHIN in the dark. If he were to open up Void Ray, for now, Adept moves out. Meanwhile, SHIN, he is droning, he is saturating. Third base is on the way. Queen will zone. And Creator is looking for a way in. Doesn't quite commit. Overlord's getting in position. We have an Overlord here on the right hand side towards the main, another Overlord here outside of the natural, and it is going to be the Oracle first. Oracle is on the way. SHIN back at home, still droning, still saturating. Creator looking for a way in. Doesn't quite find it. This Creator, he does wall up. He walls up back at home. Oracle does look to move out. Oh, now hunting down the Overlord. As the Overlord will get eyes on the Oracle, does also get eyes on the expansion. SHIN, he is aware of the standard opener, aware of the standard timings. And back at him, it's going to be on SHIN to defend his mineral lines. So far, no spores yet. He's purely relying on queens, as he does get eyes on the initial Oracle. Overlord is hunted down. Spores are now going to be on the way. These are later spores, but he also feels safe enough to get away with this. As the Oracles are now moving out. Behind this, we're expecting a Forge, we're expecting a Twilight Council, Winter Blossom, and Blink. We're expecting a standard follower. Oh, Lair first out of SHIN. Okay, we have our first big divergence here. We were typically expecting either a Roach Warren or an Evo Chamber, but Lair first is a lot more tech heavy. Much more tech heavy. Now, this could be to rush into Hydras, or we could be seeing still a safety Roach Warren into a faster Spire, into Mutaplay. Eva Chamber gets thrown down behind the mineral line. Interesting. And with the hidden Eva Chamber, I'm leaning towards +1 melee into a rush into Hydras, into Ling Hydra. As we still do not see a Roach Warren. Meanwhile, Shin does get further in. We'll Stargate Opener into the Robo. We actually called this at the start of the game, if you remember. We spoke about how Creator, he's more willing to go Stargate Opener into Robo into Immortal Archon. That's the direction he's heading in. Adepts a shade across the map. Two of them do get caught out. Meanwhile, Shin going for a Bailey Nest, massing up Lings. Gonna try to chase us down. Adepts are moving out, but Shin has plenty of Lings to work with. And with the fast layer, we know what it's for. As we mentioned, it's gonna be for Ling Hydra. As the Hydra Den is thrown down, we have the Hydra Den behind the third base. Oracle's behind the main. They get a drone, gonna be zoned away. Meanwhile, Shin with all those Lings, he does make use of them, he does counterattack. Gets it around, takes down 2 Adepts. 2 Adepts go down, nice pickup. Creator racing back home, no shield battery, no defensive setup. He's vulnerable. He's vulnerable back at home, you can see him panicking, throwing down shield batteries. Getting ready with his Oracles. And back at home, Shin is just droning. He's droning up on 3 bases, now getting a 4th expansion behind this. Meanwhile, we spoke about Creator going for his own Archon follow-up. There it is, Temple Archives on the way into Immortal Chargelet Archon. Now, this does hit a little bit later here for Creator. It's going to be a later timing. Prism moves out. This should be lined up with the Archons, with the High Templar. Oracles, they get shut down. Lings, they're looking for a way in. They're threatening a run-by. Meanwhile, here come the High Templar. Oh, actually going for Zealots first. Okay, never mind. Those are going to be slow lots. Storm is being researched. Oh my! Oh, the prism goes down. Massive pickup. Ay, ay, ay. Massive interception. Prism goes down. And Shin, he does defend. He defends back at home. He's getting into his Hydras. Hydras are amassing. 4th base getting up and running. Shin is droning. And Shin is here to catch up the army. It just caught out in the open. Brutal pickups here. Oracle will support though. And despite that, Sentry still go down. Zealots as well. Better trade for Shin. Hive is on the way into Lurker Tech. There we go, Lurker Den as well. So Shin just happily droning and taking up into Hydra Lurker Viper. He's getting into his final form. Meanwhile, Creator is kind of in a way stumbling his way there. He is taking up, don't get me wrong, but he just hasn't been able to get any damage done across the map. He hasn't been able to hinder or punish or disrupt the economy of Shin. That's the downside of going into charge instead of blink. As you can imagine, I'm sure you've already seen, if you go for a blink follow-up instead, then your stalkers are active. Then you're active, you're chipping away at overlords, lings, creep, and forcing out units and trading with the army. Here, going into Archons, Immortals, and Charge lots, you can see it's a lot slower here. As a Creator, he's stuck at home, stuck defending. Creator is trying to turtle up. But again, to take some losses in doing so with the Prism, with the Sentries. And Shin is up to 83 drones. And now getting a 5th base. Shin, he's looking to max out. He's got the ideal economy, and now he's maxing out on Ling, Hydra, Lurker. No Vipers yet. The Hive is done, and Hive upgrades are on the way. The biggest thing we're missing are Vipers, but right now, if there are no Colossus and Disruptors, I mean, do we really need Vipers? They will still be nice against the Immortals. But for the most part, Shin is about to max out. Likewise, baiting out those stasis traps ahead of time. Shin, he is aware of the expansion. And he may just sneak up straight into the natural. Lings are moving in. Does he bait at the stasis? So far, he does miss the stasis traps, just barely. Oh, baits out 1. There's 1 left. 1 stasis trap remaining. Meanwhile, Fleeping is on the way. Creator trying to get into Skytoss. Skytoss on the way. Oh! As the Lurker is a Jude Burrow, getting within range. Storm's not quite popping up. And not yet. Storms, they try to slow this down. They graze the Lurkers. Lurkers are moving in. As Shin, he does wedge himself in between the bases again. Creator out of position. This entire army's just zoned away. He just zoned away from his own natural. Lurkers are going for the kill. They collapse of the Immortals. The Immortals are going down. There's 3 Immortals left. And again, they're barely standing. Lings, they flood on in. They go for the Immortals. Massive pickoffs. They catch the Archon, and Creator, he just can't help. He's trying to, but he's just stuck in his third. He can't move in. Not into the Lunkers. Again, Creator has just been out positioned. He's forced to push into the Lockyard. He's forced to push in. Lurkers, they shut down the army. The High Templar going down the Archons as well. And SHIN, he has done it. He has broken Creator. GG gets called, and SHIN takes game number 1. Whew. GG. SHIN does take a lead in the series. Again, Creator, he had an interesting style here. It was just really unfortunate. He went for a standard opener, but unfortunately he was active with the Adepts. He got caught out. Likewise, he went for a Robo follow-up into Archon drop, but he didn't drop Archons. He instead warped in Zealots and went for a slow Zealot drop instead. He got intercepted, he got shut down, and for the most part, as we mentioned, the biggest issue here this game was that there was nothing pressuring SHIN. SHIN, he was so free and so safe to just drone up back at home. To drone up, to saturate, to build up, and alas, Creator, he wasn't really able to apply much, if any, pressure at all, so SHIN was free to max out. Not just that, it wasn't just that he was left to his own devices, but SHIN was also being greedy with his tech. Remember, he skipped Roaches. He went for a 430 lair timing to rush into Hydras, rush into Hydra upgrades, and he got away with it. He got away with all that greed, he got away with teching. Typically, it's a build like that you want to try to punish as a Protoss with more aggression, but Creator wasn't aggressive, he was passive, he was more defensive, which allowed SHIN to get out of hand, to get out of control. And here we go, spawning in the top left-hand corner of Maganatha, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg, representing Weibo Gaming. It is SHIN. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the blue Protoss player, the blue Protoss himself from South Korea, representing his new team, representing Al-Qadsia Esports. It is Creator. Al-Qadsia. I'll get it. But now then, we're going to be settling into game 2. And welcome, yo, you thought Incorporeal was a large map. Nah. You ain't seen nothing yet. Welcome to Maganatha, the largest map in the map pool. You don't get larger than Maganatha. Plenty of bases, long rush distance by ground. And we expect SHIN to play something similarly coming into game number 2 as well on this map. Now, winding it back a little bit, I'll be honest, I'm a little bit surprised by SHIN's playstyle last game. If you remember, I was talking about how typically Creator is more safe and more defensive, and typically SHIN is more aggressive, but we saw that last game SHIN was quite greedy. Remember, as we mentioned, he rushed into a fast lair, he skipped Roaches, he droned up so quickly to 83, and he was able to embrace Hive Tech a lot faster as a result. SHIN took advantage of the passivity of Creator. And as a result, we'll see how Creator adjusts. I wouldn't be surprised if SHIN goes for the same style this game. I wouldn't be surprised, but at the same time, Creator might be more willing to be aggressive this time to try to punish that greed and to punish SHIN for skipping tech and droning up too hard. So we'll see how our players do adjust throughout the course of the series. But coming into it, the size of the map itself is going to assist whoever is going to be greedier here, as the map is larger. Ground army against lurkers. A ground army can actually work quite well against lurkers, but it came down to the positional play. As we mentioned in the last game, SHIN, he was able to wedge himself in between the 3rd and the 4th, in between the armies, and kind of outposition Creator, right? Creator, he was outpositioned in that last game. If Creator was able to, for example, in this kind of game state, if the lurkers are coming in from the right hand side, and if their goal is to wedge themselves again in between the bases, it's on Creator to be on the ramp, to spot the army, to spot the movement, and to be here to stop that from happening, and to make a stand here at the ramp instead. Unfortunately, if you remember, Creator, because he was expanding towards the left hand side, his army was in between his 3rd and his 4th base. So Creator, he was here. SHIN just snuck up on the natural. He was able to sneak up, was able to outposition Creator. Otherwise, Creator could have made a stand and could have bought enough time to get into his Sky Toss, into his Tempest. That's, of course, another factor that came into last game. And as you see, that's also possible here on this map as well, right? Welcome to Magnatha. It is a large map, that is true, but as you can see, there are attack paths in every base and in between every base as well. So it's so crucial to keep eyes on the army movements of your opponent, to be able to keep up with those rotations, right? To be able to keep up with the rotations and keep up with the movements of the lurkers if we're in that kind of game state. Whether it's a lurker or a Lingbane Roach Ravager, is important that creator's able to keep up, or whoever is the defending player specifically. Whoever's defending, it's important for them to keep eyes on their opponent's movement. For now, once again, we do have this time an earlier Eva Chamber compared to last game. So early Eva Chamber, this should be +1 melee. We typically don't rush into +1 range this early on. Meanwhile, Twilight Council follow-up after the Stargate. This looks like Glaive Adepts. No Forge. Now, if we see no Forge here, this should be Glaives. If we see a delayed Forge, this might just be early Blink. So creator, he has options with whether he wants to go into Blink or Glaives. How aggressive does he want to be? More gateways. This does feel like Glaive Adepts, and we have Carapace on the way. Okay, a lot's going on. So as we mentioned, this build did scream Glaive Adepts. Now the reason why we did say Glaives at the start is 1, the Twilight Council's very early, 2, no Forge. If there's no Forge, it's going to be Glaives. So we have a Glaive Adept follow-up here by Creator. This is more aggressive, and fun fact, if Creator had done this last game, he would find so much success. If you remember, last game, Shin skipped Roaches. This time, Roach Horn. This time there is a Roach Horn. This time Shin is playing safe, and he comes up with the Overlord Scout. He sees the Twilight Council, he sees the lack of Forge. Now, technically, there could be a hidden Forge at the natural, right? There could be a hidden Forge instead, but for the most part, Shin, he's aware to be safe. He knows he has to be safe. Roach Horn's almost done, and he will be getting into Roach production. If this was last game, if he was going straight Ling Hydra, then he'd be in danger. But Shin has the tools to defend. Lings, they collapse in. No shield battery. Ooh, no shield battery. 1 adept goes down. He gets 1, he gets 2, he's gonna get 3. Oracles are racing back home. Some brutal losses there for Creator. More Lings are amassing. The Carapace upgrade, sorry, I didn't even get to talk about that. The Carapace upgrade is throwing me off, because typically Carapace is less effective than range and melee upgrades. It does impact, it does assist both units, both range and melee units, but it's not as impactful just because of the high DPS output of Protoss units. So that's an odd one, I'll be honest. But here we go, the Mass Adept has arrived, and do you see any Roaches? No, we have the Roach Warren, but no Roach production here. Shin being greedy, where are the Roaches? Stasis about to go off. Shin does pull away, baits out the Stasis trap, but there are so many Adepts, and again, where are the Roaches, Pappy? Where are the Roaches? We have 9 Roaches in production, but Shin was being greedy. Shin, he cut corners, he droned up too much, and Adepts, they wreak havoc, they shut down the Lings, and they're going for the Mineral Alliance, and Shin, he's caught with his pants down. Again, Shin, he had the tools to defend, but he did not make Roaches. He didn't realize he needed them, he didn't realize how much danger he was in, and now we're popping off. 5 drones gonna be going down, Roaches are falling one after the other. Adepts, they shade back and forth. Shin not quite able to keep up. These Roaches, they need to build up, and they're not able to. They're not able to. Creator, he has done it. Breaks through the Roaches, gets into the Mineral Lines. 11, 12 drone kills already. And this is becoming critical damage. 15 drone kills. Ay, ay, ay. 15, 18 drones going down. 18 workers, not like this. And this is game-ending damage. From this point forward, Shin is going to be forced all in. He's going to be forced all in. He has Roach speed on the way, which will help. Adepts, they once again shade in between the bases. They don't quite commit. Creator, he's racing back home. What do we have at home to defend? We have more Adepts, Stasis traps, and more importantly, Immortal production. Immortals are on the way. He's already got 1, soon to be 2. As the Immortal count builds up, the Roach Ravager becomes less and less effective. So it's building up his Immortals. Shin is re-droning. But Shin trying to macro out of this, trying to re-drone after losing so many workers. That's a bold move. It's a hard decision. Basically, from this position, Shin has 2 options: either commit to an all-in, or try to be as greedy as possible to recover. And he's choosing to drone up and be greedy, and it should not work. Like at this level of play, basically Shin, he's hoping that Creator makes mistakes. Like, for example, if Creator commits and if he fights these Roaches head on, if Creator throws away these Adepts, then sure. But like, that's what Shin is hoping for. He's hoping for Creator to make some missteps, make some mistakes, and leave his army unattended, commit into a bad fight, maybe get stuck tech-wise. I will say that this Temple Archives is late. True. This is a late Temple Archives, so Creator, his splash damage is going to be delayed. But at the same time, I think that this is late just because he probably thought an all-in was coming, right? He probably thought like, oh, he's probably going to commit, so let me focus on my defense instead. So Shin is joining up. He's still down in workers. Creator claiming his 4th base. Getting a second robo, double immortal production. Aye. And again, the one thing that Creator is missing with his army is Storm. Like, we're just missing Storm. Temple Archives is done. We need that Storm. We need that splash damage. I mean, either Storm or Colossus. One or the other. Archons are morphing in. No Storm. Interesting. Bold move. I mean, Shin is building up Ling Hydra. We need splash damage against this. I mean, this army can still work. Archons, they still have their place in this game, and Creator still has a terrifying army. But he did not research Storm. We're pushing out here and now. Creator, he's committing. Now again, he can still take a better fights. Roaches, they try to come in from behind. Bit of an awkward angle here from Creator. Doesn't get surrounded. He commits here with more charge lots. Trying to catch out the Roaches. Roaches falling back. Prism is exposed. Prism goes down. Yeah, massive pickup. No Prism. Roaches, they still buy more time. The best fight that Shin can hope for is trying to catch out that Immortal. Oh, the surround. Can he get it? He's going to bleed out a lot of Lings here, but one Immortal goes down. He gets one. He's going to get two. Yeah, Biles, they connect. They take down another Immortal. Again, this is the best. Like, Shin is popping up. Like, Shin, he's just catching Creator with his pants down as he takes out more Immortals. GG gets called. Creator, he commits into a rough fight, and Shin, he bounces back. He takes the fight, takes a 2-0 lead. Made. GG, well played. We spoke about Shin hoping that Creator makes mistakes. Remember, there was nothing forcing Creator to push in, nothing forcing him to attack. He chose not to research Storm. He chose to commit, to push in with his Archons, with his Immortals, to go for that fight. Shin had a better attack there, coming in from multiple angles. He was able to snipe the Prism, deny reinforcements, and he just pulled Creator apart. GG, impressive comeback there from Shin. Again, Creator, he was in a very, very nice position after crippling the economy. He just had to calm down and tech up and get into Storm and work towards a longer game. Instead, he pushed out and GG. GG. So Creator misjudging the situation there. I think that's the best way of putting it. Just misjudging the situation, misjudging the game state. Creator, he was ahead, that's true, but he opted not to get further ahead. Instead, he tried to end the game. He was trying to end the game then and there. And alas, Shin, he was able to get away with his Ling Hydra composition, able to capitalize on the fact that, and again, this was completely like out of the hands of Shin, but there was no splash damage, right? There was no splash damage, so Ling Hydra traded very nicely there, very efficiently, surrounding the army. GG. GG, well played. And now we're getting into our next game. We're getting into game number 3, potentially the final game of the series. And again, I feel like we should have had a back and forth here. Like, again, that last game was insane for Creator, but it did slip through his fingers. And here we go. We're getting into game 3. I'm hoping for a back and forth. I want some more out of these players. I'm greedy like that, but the pressure is on. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Pylon, we have the red Zerg player, the South Korean Zerg, representing Weibo Gaming, clawing his way back into that last game. It is Shin. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the blue Protoss, representing Alakadzia Esports. It is Creator. Down to 0, 1 game away from claiming the series, and I hope he's okay. Again, last game, everything was looking good. Everything was going right for Creator. Everything was as it should be. But again, as you mentioned, like, he did make the decision not to get into splash damage, not to tech up. He chose to commit into. He basically forced himself all in by committing to that fight. And yeah, once again, just misjudging the situation there. And the game did slip through his fingers. And hopefully he's able to recover. As again, I want more between these two players, but welcome 1-0 to Pylon. Pylon, of course, is one of the smaller maps in the map pool. I say smaller map, it is very wide. There are a lot of bases. There are a lot of bases, a lot of expansions, but the rush distance by ground is quite short and very direct, and because of that, we see a lot of all-ins. We've seen a lot of all-ins on Pylon. We've seen a lot of Queen all-ins, German taxis, Ling Queen walks across the map, Hydra base all-ins on 3 bases. Like, there's been a lot of aggression on Pylon, and I expect aggression out of SHIN. We'll see. Here we go. See someone asking in the chat, will you also show Gerald versus Zoun? Both qualifiers are going to be casted. Both qualifiers are going to be casted. Double music. I don't necessarily think that's on my end. I don't believe. Just double check some things, make sure there's no like other tab open or something like that. Yeah. All good. Yeah. It's all good. Otherwise, we are going to be slipping in. We have once again a Stargate open out of Creator. And we'll see if Creator once again goes into, I mean, I don't see him going into Glaives twice. I know that it was very successful last game. I mean, again, like he had a really strong start in game 2. But I would imagine we're going to be seeing maybe a standard opener, which we haven't seen yet at the Creator. We have not seen Stargate into +1 Blink Stalker. Like, that hasn't happened yet here in this series. Meanwhile, Creator moving out. Does catch the initial tumor. Hooks in, pulls away. Does pull away. And so far, nothing too major here. Standard openers, oracles are amassing, they're poking in, queens are trying to keep up, tumor goes down. But SHIN, he doesn't lose many workers at all. Not yet. Does preserve his mineral line. And we're waiting to see any early tech. So far, just droning. Just droning, just saturating. Overlord goes in for the scouts. Overlord is looking for an early Twilight Council. We know that there is none, and soon SHIN will confirm as well. No early Twilight Council. No early aggression. There we go. The initial Twilight Council gets thrown down. This is as the base is over halfway done. This looks like Twilight Council into Forge. As extra gateways are on the way. This feels like a Blink-based opener, but we'll keep an eye on Creator. If it was Glaives, I feel like the Twilight Council would have been a little bit earlier, but we'll see. Oracles poke in. They get a queen. Not bad. 1 queen goes down. No Forge, by the way. Creator, what's going on? Are we going back into Glaives? No. Okay, Blink. Whew, okay. We're sane. We're going into Blink. Now, the lack of Forge tells us that this might be the beginning of a 3-base all-in. As Lings, they do catch out the Adepts. But if you remember, at the start of the game, we spoke about how all-ins are favored. Remember, all-ins are favored on Pylon, and we're going to have really early Blink Stalkers. We could see a Gateway Explosion. We could see, yep, there we go, Gateways are on the way. If we don't take any gases at the 3rd base, we can set up a proxy across the map and go for a 3-base, 8-gate all-in from the side of the Protoss. Oh, that is not the case, though. We're taking up late Forge, but an earlier Templar Archives. Okay, Creator, we got some builds. Meanwhile, SHIN getting a 4th. SHIN's getting a 4th base, droning up. We have +1 range on the way, no +1 melee. Stasis Trap going to be going off, catching 1 worker. Hydrogen is spotted, and we are going from Hydrogen alongside a Spire. SHIN. He does hide his tech. Oh, jeez, the Stage Traps. They're not. Oh my god! Stage Trap goes off once again. Catching at 2 drones so far. As the Oracles are forced back. And SHIN, he's droning, he's saturating, taking all 6 gases. It looks like Ling Hydra, and we are investing to Hydra upgrades, but the Spire so far, unscouted. Spire is unscouted. SHIN delays the expansion. Behind this, Storm is on the way. I mean, hey, there was no Storm last game, so this time Creator, he rushes into Storm to make sure he has it. Blink is not yet done. Nice surround here by SHIN. Brutal surround. Stalkers are going to be going down. Blink is still 3 seconds away. Oh my god, and so many losses. So many Stalkers trading minerals for gas. Better trade for SHIN. Takes down the Stalkers, takes down the Adepts. And behind the Spire is almost done. The Spire is almost complete. We've been preserving that gas. There we go. 10 mutas on the way. And there's nothing in the main, and there's nothing in the natural. The third base is a little bit more fortified, but the natural and the main are exposed. And Creator, he still has no idea. Still has no idea. Oh. Lings are forced back. Creator, he's been stuck at home. Here we go. Now we get the hallucination scout, but this is late. This is a late hallucination scout. As he moves out, the mutas are already moving in. The mutas are ready to pounce. They're backing up on the right-hand side. Hallucination fails the scout. And the mutas, they have arrived. They're going for the main base. At the same time, Creator, he breaks out with his main army. And Creator, he might just commit. He might just commit to the fight here. Leading out 7 probes already. Losing up to 10. He's not stopping. He's just going to trade out his mutas, getting 14 probe kills. At the same time, Creator, he commits. He has 4 High Templar. 4 High Templar, 4 Storms. Stasis Trap gets baited. There's 1 Stasis left. Mutas, they turn around. They come back with the main army. We come in for the surround. Decent Storms. Yeah, decent Storms on the Lings. Hydras, they collapse in. Oh, and there are just so many mutas. Sorry, I'm going to say muta, not Hydra. We do magic box on top of the army, cleaning everything up. The Archons, the High Templar. And SHIN, he's looking to qualify. He's looking to qualify here and now. We could have seen a longer series. Again, the Game 1 Magnatha was so close for Creator. He was in such a good position. But here, he was not able to confirm, not able to scout. Archon volley going up. But the muta cloud, it's getting out of hand. It's getting out of control. Does target down muta after, Stalker after Stalker. How many? 17, 16 mutas left. Oh, fighting head-on like this is not ideal, though. Again, mutas are not built to fight head-on. They're built to harass. As another 2 mutas go down. These are expensive losses. Okay. Creator, he holds. Creator, he's holding on. Behind this, Hydra range should complete. We're still committing into mass muta. Still no Hydra production. The economy is okay for SHIN. He does have the high yield gas geyser. That does help. Creator, he's holding on. Muta's back into the main. Creator, he's waiting for them. Ooh. As we do see SHIN fight head on. Takes down 3 Stalkers. Takes down 4 Stalkers, even 5. A nice target firing there out of SHIN. Gets into the mineral line. Rotates back around into the main. Ooh, the cannon does finish. And SHIN is still not stopping. Now, this, like, SHIN, he can die doing this, by the way. Like, this is a really risky playstyle, just because these mutas are so fragile. They're so fragile. One bad fight away from losing everything when it comes to Storms, when it comes to Archons. Like, SHIN still has map control, still has the advantage, but it is still quite a risky playstyle. Nice intercept. Creator catching out a couple of mutas. A couple of mutas go down. Ling counterattack towards left hand side. Ooh, Storm on the mutas. Another muta falls. Meanwhile, there's nothing here to defend the third. Mutas, they rotate back around. Oh. Archon's keeping up. Lings, they get spotted in time. Creator, he's in position. And Lings, they take down the shield battery at least. Mutas are coming in. Oh, not bad. Mutas, they do support. Ooh, Storm does connect. 1, 2 Storms. The Mutas, they get away. They catch out the Phoenix. They want Phoenix. Cleaning out a couple of Mutas. Does get 16 probe kills in the mineral line. And not a bad trade here from SHIN. He mainly lost Lings there. That was 48 Lings and 8 Mutas. Rotates back around. Creator's keeping up. Oh, punishing SHIN. Getting 2 more Mutas. Oh, SHIN commits to the fight. Where are the Storms? SHIN is massing out more Lings. Oof. Storm does connect. He gets 1. Do we get 2? Oh my god. Storm doesn't quite connect though. The army's so low. 1 Storm away. Uno más, papi. Uno más. This army is so low. Again, SHIN is 1 bad Storm away from losing those Mutas. And behind there's no Ultras, right? Like there's no Ultras, there's no Hive Tech. It's just pure Ling Muta here out of SHIN. As Lings are getting ready towards the left-hand side. Mutas, they get zoned away by Storm. Get zoned away. For those that are curious, typically we would be taking up into Hive and into Ultras with this, alongside melee upgrades, but no, for now, looks like we're getting ready for a Hydra switch instead. You would at least be switching to Ultras or switching into Lurkers, like for your ground support. But now we're just doubling down on mass meter. Oh, Jesus. Another Storm connects. Just the 1 for now, going for the base itself, and he will knock down the expansion. Nexus goes down. And so far, SHIN is trading well enough to like hinder the economy, right? Like Creator, he's having a hard time maxing out. He cannot max out. We have how many Mutas? 41, soon to be 48 Mutas. Get an okay Storm. Phoenixes, they do engage. Not bad. Yeah, nice movement here with the Phoenixes. A lot of Mutas do get picked up. Oh no! He does fight too close to the sun. Mutas, they get 1 of the Phoenixes. Oh! There you go, 1 so far. Nice kiting from Creator. Does kite back. Picks off a lot of Mutas. He's also getting caught out though. Phoenixes are falling. That is going to be 15 probes falling. And we have Hydra production. Collapse on the Archons. So far, nice movement here by SHIN. And Creator, where we headed? What's the plan? Still trying to keep up. Ooh, Prism goes down. Bit of miscontrol there by Creator. Bit of miscontrol. Likewise takes out another Phoenix. Just going for the drive-by, gets an Archon as well. And the run-by continue. We just keep just dipping in between the bases. Creator, he can't keep up. He can't keep up with this. Not like this. And the problem being Creator, he's on 37 probes. At this point, like over time, he's just taken too much damage. Too many losses. Creator down to 37 workers. Meanwhile, Lurker Den, there's that Lurker switch. Lurker Den is on the way. Back at home, we're building up Hydras. Soon to be Lurkers. 31 Mutas here for SHIN, and he's done making Mutas. At this point, he's done. As the Hydro Gas guys is fully mined out. Jesus. SHIN, he's got bottom left. Now, the Lurkers aren't ready yet. So, technically, Creator, he's down 30 army supply, or around 40 army supply at this point. But depending on how many Storms he has, well, only 2. Only 2 High Templar. If he had a higher High Templar count, I can see him base trading, or I can see him just going across the map, going for an all-in, and breaking SHIN before Lurker tech. But I don't think he has the Storms for it. He doesn't have the Storms for it. And Lurker Den is done. Show us those Lunkers. Hive is on the way. Up. SHIN controlling the army. SHIN is maxed out. He can't afford any Lurkers. There we go. Going for a Ling run by first to make some room. to free up some supply. So SHIN has to bleed out some of these units, whether it's Muta or Ling, to make those lurkers. And there it is, 6 lurkers on the way. 6 so far. Things are keeping up. Mutas, they commit. Cash out a couple of Phoenixes. Phoenixes, they can pose a threat to the lurkers, but yeah, they're going down one after the other. Likewise gets into the middle line. And with that SHIN, he has done it. What has he done? He's bought enough time for lurker tech. I mean, you could argue that he's already crippled the economy here. Even without the lurkers, that's going to be another 11 probes going down. Down to 31 workers for Creator. And now we have 8 more lurkers on the way. And the reality is that there's no answer. There's no answer to the lurkers. There's no immortals. There's no immortals. There's no Skytoss. A Stalker Arc on heavy composition is not going to be good enough. Mutas, oh god, there's some brutal storms. Mutas are finally going down. But at this point, they've served their purpose. They've served their purpose, and here we go. The lurkers have arrived. Seismic Spines is complete. Lunkers are here. Oof. Catching out the Observer. 0 detection. Ling Rumbai hits the 3rd, and now we're just all in. All or nothing here. The game is about to end. This is Creator's final army. Oh, he recalls back home. Does recall. Lings, they catch an Immortal. They take down the base. Mutas into the main. Catching up more Phoenixes. The main army of Creator still is quite robust for itself, but Creator has no pushing power, unfortunately. Again, he has no way to push into these lurkers. Not like this. Nice spread of Overseers. And so we go. Creator, he tries to push into the lurkers. Tries to push in. GG gets called, and SHIN, he will take the series 3-0, qualifying for Season 1 of RSL. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations to SHIN as he does qualify for the Revival StarCraft 2 League. He will qualify, he will make it through. Congratulations. My condolences to Creator. I can 100% see this going into a longer series. I'm still thinking about Maganatha, to be honest. Like, Maganatha was Creator's game to win, to take, but it slipped through his fingers. He did overextend, did overcommit. It was a rough game there for Creator after such a strong start. And SHIN, with that, takes the 3-0. And I feel like the score doesn't do the series justice. As I mentioned, like, Creator, he played well for himself, and we can 100% see a longer series there and a longer back and forth. But alas, GG. Alas, GG, well played. With that, SHIN does qualify, and now we're getting ready for our next matchup. Our next qualifying match is going to be a PvP. So we have a Protoss confirmed for the event. It'll either be Zoun or Gerald. Let's go. Here we go. As we're getting to our next PvP, getting to our next best of 5. Oh. As I'm a little bit concerned. I think we might be playing on the NA server. Here we go. We are getting ready here for our next qualifying match. And I'm hoping they didn't start without us. A little bit concerned. But yes, up next should be Gerald versus Zoun. As we are all setting up for it. We're going to be going on a short break. We're going to be going on a short break before the next series. Just catching up. Catching up in the chat. I don't know what's going on with Creator. Hope he bounces back soon. I mean, Creator, he's been playing well for himself. He's been achieving and getting a lot of really good results. There have just been a couple of key moments where he has been struggling. Like, I'm thinking of the qualifiers for GSL, for example. It was just a really, really rough qualifier for Creator. If you remember, like, surrounding that qualifier, there were a lot of online tournaments where Creator, he was taking down Max Packs and taking down Beyond. Like, Creator, who was playing very well. He's playing very well. He was looking in form, but on the day, whether it's the stress or, you know, sometimes you just have a really rough day. I think, like, for example, for context, both Creator and SHIN failed to qualify for GSL, and they're both world-class players. They're both deserving to be in GSL, but neither one made it through. It shows just how brutal, how cutthroat GSL can be. Smurge, man, Smurge. Here we go. It's time for offline season, so Max Packs doesn't care. That's copium right there. It's always online season for Max Packs. It's always playing at his best for the online weeklies because that's all he plays in, right? But looks like we're going to be going on a very short break, and when we come back, we'll have that final best of 5. See you soon. See you soon after the break. Yeah, see you soon. Maybe in a couple of seconds. We're just figuring out what server to play on. See you soon. Welcome back. I just wasn't certain. I wasn't certain if we were going to be switching to another server, but yes, we are actually going to be playing on the Korean server. I mean, this is the Asia server qualifiers, so players, they do have priority on their server of choice. So here we go. We're going to be jumping into game 1 of our fresh best of 5 qualifying match. And spawning in the right hand corner of ley lines, we have our South Korean Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing Team Vitality. It is Zoun. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the red Protoss player from land of Poland, representing Streamer Zone. It is Gerald. Here we go. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It's Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series, who you believe will be the next player to qualify for the RSL. Oh boy. Here we go as I quickly set up the player names. Bam. I got you covered. Yes, congratulations to SHIN. SHIN, he will join Percival and Cham as qualified players for the RSL, and we're about to determine our next player. As a reminder, there are still European qualifiers, so if Gerald fails to qualify, Zoun as well, whoever fails to qualify, they will have another chance in the European qualifiers. The problem, as I mentioned, is that it is a European server qualifier, so because of that, the Koreans that do decide to play in it will have to play on the European server. Like, Europeans, they have prioritization to force EU server when they play against Koreans for a server qualifier. So they can force that. So there's going to be a further obstacle there for the Koreans that do try to play in the European qualifier. So best of luck. Likewise, it would be that much more impressive if Gerald were to be able to win this on the Korean server. Let's go. Would be that much more impressive. For now, we have our initial 2-gate opener out of Gerald. Likewise, 2-gate opener out of Zoun. So far, so good. Do you have mirrored openers? But yeah, when it comes to online events, like Wardy is still hosting big monthly online tournaments, and of course we do have the OSC mid-season playoffs that just began this week or last week, I suppose, which MaxFax is also playing in. Likewise, we also have the Pigsty Festival, which wrapped up last week as well. Like, there's a lot of big online events that are occurring to continue to compete in, even if you're not playing in offline events, which is, you know, MaxFax's bread and butter. But for now, we're selling into a different PvP. For now, we have our 2-gate opener into our natural. And meanwhile, pylon blocker across the map, delaying the natural base of Zoun quite heavily, actually. So Zoun, he will have a later economy. Likewise, Gerald, he will have the faster natural. So far, so good. Oh, it's on Zoun to try to punish. The shield battery is still halfway done. Zoun hoping to pick off the shield battery, hoping to pick off a stalker. Very delicate micro here from Zoun. Gets a probe. Oh. Gets a probe, but the shield battery does complete. And with that, Gerald holds. Gerald, he does hold on. Does defend. I say that more stalkers have arrived. Behind this, both players taking up into a Twilight Council into Blink. So Blink from Zoun, likewise Blink from Gerald as well. Getting to Blink Stalkers. Faster Robo out of Zoun. Getting into the faster Robo, both players do back off. We do have extra gateways on the way from Gerald, and we'll see if he throws down like a 4th gateway, and if he delays his 3rd. Otherwise from here we should be expanding. As Gerald, he does get across the map, threatening a shade. Oh, he does get in. Yeah, probe is out of position, shades into the main base, 2 adepts taking one-shot workers, boys are being pulled, so far getting 1, getting 2, and should be getting up to 3. Nice, very nice force fields. Adepts they get locked down, that could have been so much worse. Nice movement there out of Zoun. He defends. Does defend, does hold on behind this. 3rd base is on the way for Gerald. Zoun still on 2, going for his Warp Prism. Likewise, he is the one that throws down 2 more gates, so he's going to be getting up to a 4-gate setup, 4-gate Blink Stalker out of Zoun, delayed 3rd base from our Blue Protoss, and it will soon push. And it's going to be Gerald defending. He has to figure out what's going on. Double Force Field, sorry, double Hallucination, double Phoenix, and Gerald is looking for the expansion. And he will confirm no Nexus. Yeah, no Nexus here at the 3rd base location. Likewise, sees the gateways at the natural. Does spot the gateway. Shield battery instantly thrown down. And Gerald, he's up a base. But he's down in army, and here comes Zoun. Zoun rallying everything across the map. How many stalkers? 12. 12 stalkers is down. 8 for Gerald. Of course, Zoun, he has an extra gateway, he has extra warpins, and he has that prism. Oh, let's go. Hallucinations. Gerald trying to tank some shots. Nice target firing here on the sentry. Sentry's going to be going down. Zoun does just have position, does head towards the natural. Avoids a 3rd base, catching out more stalkers. Gerald trying to collapse in. Stalkers are getting low. But more warpins should be coming in for Zoun. As he's bleeding out some stalkers. Boys are being pulled. Boys are being pulled so far. Gerald, he's holding on. Shuts down the stalkers. They're so low. And Gerald, he can take this fight. So many stalkers falling for Zoun. Oh, he blinked everything. Uh-oh. Does blink everything back. Goes for the dive. Prism. Oh, barely forced back. And Gerald holds. Gerald, he holds on. Impressive defense here. He shuts down the prism. Shuts down the stalkers. Again, we had some miscontrol, some rough blinks there from Zoun. Blinking the entire army, and Gerald, he did have to pull the boys. He did lose some probes, but it was worth it. Remember, he's up a base. He can afford to lose some workers here. He's up an expansion, he's up a base. Gerald, he does hold on. Impressive defense. Likewise, that shield battery also came into play. And Gerald, from here, he can take a worker lead. He can try to. Zoun is catching up. Oh,
paused.
as we do have a bit of a pause. Hopefully everything's okay, as we do have a big spike here for Gerald. Aye, aye, aye. Yeah, big lag spike. Does happen. So we're more than happy to wait it out. Thankfully, it's a lag spike after the fight as well. Is after the fight. When it comes to the game state here, both players are on 3 bases. Zoun has a 1 probe lead, but again, Gerald, he's catching up. When it comes to upgrades, there's no forge. There's no forge for either player, so there's no like upgrade lead in that way, that kind of direction. Oh,
game resumed.
There we go. So stepping back in. We are stepping back in. Charge is slightly faster for Gerald. Forge on the way for his down for +1. Gerald, he has yet to go for his own forge. But that is a gateway explosion. We'll see what the plan is. For now, both players are staying on a lower gas count. 3 gases for Gerald. Likewise, I believe 3 gases for Zoun as well. So both players staying on a lower gas counts. Charge on the way. Gerald the first to expand, getting a 4th. Zoun not too far behind, looking for his own. And we're stabilizing. After the aggression from Zoun, we're stabilizing. There is going to be a window in time where Zoun has +1 and Gerald is going to have +0. So there is a small like window here where potentially Zoun can also go for a +2 timing as well. We just can't. We did. Oh, yo, we're just going all in. Okay. Sorry, we just canceled the forge. So 0 upgrades, no forge. Gerald, he's going to commit instead. He's moving out. He's moving out. He's going for the all in. No upgrades. Just mass charge slots. Both players did expand, but this is a fake 4th base for Gerald. As he's pushing. Prism towards the main. 4th base under fire. Cells they have arrived already. Charge is done. Zoun needs a little bit more time for those warp ins. There's a cancel. And Gerald, he ignores the 4th. He's going for the kill. He's going for the kill. He's going for the throw. He's all in. Does dive in. Takes down the cannon. Collapsing on top of their stalkers. Going for the pylons as well. And he will focus them down one after the other. Meanwhile, Zelts are across the map. They're getting into the mineral lines. Gerald, he defends back at home. And Gerald, he does it. He does it. He breaks the main army, gets a full surround, takes out every single stalker. And Zell, sure, they're across the map, but they're not doing enough. They're not doing anywhere near enough. The 4th base finished, but the 4th base doesn't matter. Not anymore. As Gerald, he does beat out 11 probes back at home, but he does defend. There's 22 probes going down. Gerald, he should have done it by... I mean, this should be enough. Cleans up all the zealots. Does reinforce, kills the 3rd base, will lose his own 4th base, but again, Zoun should lose 2 expansions here, the 3rd and the 4th. And maybe even more than that. Gerald pulling back. Pulls back to the Nexus. Zoun can't really engage here. Let's get the hell out of here. I mean, Gerald, he can just go for the kill. He can just go for the kill. He can go for the main army. You get with 1,000 ping. Who needs ping, Pappy? Who needs it? Aye, aye, aye. Apparently Gerald, he has plenty of it. True, true. As he takes down the northern base. Kills the 4th. Zoun, he's stuck on 2 bases, and he's going for the base trade. Yeah, Zoun, he commits to the base trade, but Gerald, he recalls back home. Good call. Remember, all that Gerald has to do is defend. Just defend the 3rd. Easier said than done. Base is under fire. Probe is going to be going down. But Gerald, again, he's somewhat in position. Does respond. Prism does fall. A messy defense here at Gerald. Is messy. Does defend. And GG gets called. He defends. He's up at base. And Gerald takes game number 1. Whew. GG. Gerald does take a lead in the series. Again, Gerald, he was able to take a lead after he defended against the all-in of Zoun. So a very impressive defense by Gerald. And then he made the last-second decision to cancel the Forge and commit into his own counter all-in, where he was able to catch Zoun out of position, off guard. When I say out of position, if you remember, Zoun, instead of warping in Zealots at home, he was getting ready for a Zealot drop into the bases. So that is supply that wasn't home to defend, and because that Zoun, he was overwhelmed. He did try to hold on to his third base, but he was just shut down completely there. Gerald, with that, takes a lead. Does take a lead. And again, one step closer to qualifying. Whew. Oh, yo, we got some indie fans in the chat. Let's go. The turkey himself. Shema, papi, Shema. As we're getting into game 2. And again, an impressive start here out of Gerald. And we'll see how our players, how Zoun adjusts. If at all. Here we go. As we are getting into our next game, as we're going to be loading into Tokamak. Now, Tokamak, of course, is one of the larger maps of the map pool, known for more longer and later games, but in a PvP, you don't really care as much about how large the map is. Just because of the warp-in mechanic, you can still commit to a proxy early on and go for a 1-base all-in, or commit to proxies later on and commit to more aggression on 2-3 bases. So we'll see how our players do adjust. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Tokamak, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing Team Vitality down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back and make a series out of this. It is Zoun. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Red Protoss player, the Red Protoss himself, representing Streamer Zone from land of Poland. It is Gerald. Un momento. I will set him up. Bam. Beautiful. Again, Gerald, he does lead a 1-0. Despite the ping disadvantage, happy. He's popping up. Let's go. Here we go. First probe does move out. We're going for scouting information, trying to make sure that there is no proxy, that the pylons are back at home. So far, 2-gate opener out of our Red Protoss and 2-gate opener out of our Blue Protoss. So mirrored builds, mirrored openers. Nothing crazy yet. Likewise, Gerald, he's not veering off into the side. He's going for a scout, not a proxy. So both players are scouting. Both players are going to be scouting across the map. Likewise, mirrored builds. There's no hidden proxy, no hidden pylon. They both confirm the second pylon of each other, so they know there's no proxy. And we go for a Sentry Expand. A greedy build out of Gerald. He skips the second unit, or he delays in favor of a faster expansion. Now, what this means is that this probe cannot pylon block. Zoun, he cannot pylon block on the low ground. He is going to be forced in. Meanwhile, speaking of pylon blocking, that's exactly what Geralt is doing. Geralt is here on the low ground, being as annoying as possible. There's a pylon block. Does get it down, and oh no! Ooh, will lose the probe. The probe does fall, but Geralt, he should be able to cancel and expand. Does let the Stalker finish. Does let it finish. The pylon also does complete as well. So Gerald, he does his pylon, a skill zone shield battery, and there's the expansion. Both players, they get their bases at the same time. Both players do expand. Zoun moving out. He moves out with his 2 stalkers. And it's going to be on Gerald to buy time for his shield battery. So buy time. There's the NG overcharge. Stalkers, they poke in. They poke in. Got to be zoned away. Shield battery is done. And Hallucination gets a full scout. It's going to be a Twilight Council opener out of Zoun. Twilight Council out of Gerald. Both players at the same builds, same follow-up. Blink, expand. So far, looking the same. Looking solid. No major damage yet. We do see Zoun trying to poke in with his adepts. Technically, Gerald did lose more. He did lose a pylon. Did lose the pylon. Oh, Gerald trying to catch up. Oh my god, very nice force fields. They were nice until the very end. That final force field, oof. Was lackluster. Did not catch that. I mean, that should have been a dead of depths. I think that's an example of the ping affecting the game. Where in an ideal scenario, I feel like Gerald would have force fielded and would have locked down the adept. It was like half a second too late. So players are building up. Ooh, Gerald going for the proxy pylon. Uh-oh. We're setting up for the proxy. Setting up for a reinforcement point. Speaking of, 4 gates on the way. This is the same build as last game. Remember, last game, Zoun, he delayed his 3rd base for 4-gate Blink Stalker with his Prism, with his Robo. Same build. Same build once again. Essentially a 2-base all-in. Now, if you remember, last time Zoun did go for a later 3rd, but he still did commit quite hard, but he failed to break Gerald. Meanwhile, Gerald is going for his own aggression. He's doing the same build. We have we have almost mirrored builds. I say almost. This is 4-gate Blink Stalker. This is not 4-gate Blink. Ooh, as we did have a big lag spike there. This is 5-gate Blink. So Gerald is going for a 2-base all-in, 5-gate Blink Stalker. Zoun is going 4-gate Blink with a Robo with a Warp Prism. So Zoun is going to have less Stalkers, but he will have the advantage of the Prism. But I am seeing some frame drops here. This is not on my side. I am just double checking. That might be the player latency affecting the game here. But so far, Zoun, he does push in. Does push in. So far, Gerald, he does take down the sentry. Takes down the sentry, trying to make a stand. So far, doesn't quite get the other. Again, the 5th gateway is ready. So he does have extra warp ins. He will have extra stalkers. Trying to force his way forward, pushing into a concave though. Yeah, greater concave here for Zoun. And it comes down to the blink control. Zoun's stalkers are getting very low though. Yeah, they're getting low. We go for the dive. Gerald, he breaks through, breaks the main army. Takes down almost every single stalker. Once again, a greater fight here for Gerald. Better blink control, even without the ping. Este Gerald. He's crazy. Let's go. He likes the ping, Pappy. He likes it. As from here, breaks on through, gets on top of the 3rd. Prism is out for a counterattack. We have DTs. No shot. They're a dark tag. I didn't even notice. And there's no detection. 0 detection. DTs. 1 into the main, 1 into the natural. Gerald, he took some better fights. It was impressive, but DTs, they are here to end the game. As they head into the mineral lines. At the same time, Gerald pushing further in. Defensive DTs. No detection. No shot. Gerald, he played this out so well. Did play this out well. But DTs, the Invisible Man, it's sometimes just too good. 19 probe kills. And again, defensive Dark Templar, 0 detection. Sometimes DTs can just end the game. As we're down to 4 stalkers. Robo gets denied. There's still no way to detect. There's no Stargate, no Robo, no Forge, no nothing. And Zoun, he will fight back. He will tie up the series. Again, even though Gerald took a better fight, even though Gerald did a lot of damage across the map, it doesn't matter. does not matter. GG gets called, and Zoun, he will fight back. He will put a point on the board. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Zoun, he will type the series. Unfortunately, just no way to deal with those Dark Templars. Zero detection out of Gerald. It happens to the best players out there. We've seen Max Packs insta-tap out to DTs. We've seen Hero insta-tap out to DTs as well. It's just sometimes, you know, it is a factor in PvP, and it can end games. And with that, we do have a series. We have a back and forth. Let's go. We have a back and forth. And we're getting into game 3. Now, as a reminder, best of 5. So we have plenty of games ahead of us. This is not the ace match. We're not there yet. We're not there yet. As we are loading into game 3 and spawning in the top left hand corner here of Pylon, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the blue Protoss, representing Team Vitality. It is Zoun. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have the red Protoss player, the red Protoss himself, from the land of Poland, representing Streamer Zone. It is Gerald. Here we go. As we are going to be settling in. And again, I've been very impressed so far by Gerald's control, specifically his bling control. I feel like that's what shined both in game 1 and in game 2. Game 1, when it came to his, I mean, in both games when it came to his defense, his 4-gate blink stalker defense, very impressive. He was able to win both fights both times. Just unfortunate that he had no detection. He had no robo, right? He had no robo, had no observer. But now, though, once again, 2-gate opener out from both players. Once again, mirrored starts. And still no proxy. No shenanigans early on in this series. No proxy, no all-in. Welcome 1-0 to Pylon. Pylon is one of the smaller maps in the map pool. Shorter rush distance by ground. Zoun, he has gone 4-gate blink stalker every game so far, and I wouldn't be surprised if he does it again. Personally, I don't like the idea of going for the same opener and same build like that multiple times in a series, but if you're gonna do it twice, may as well do it 3 times, and may as well do it on a better map as well. So we'll see. We shall see. Specifically compared to Tokamak, the rush distance by ground on Pylon is shorter, so you can reinforce that much faster. Faster reinforcements may not matter though too much, just because Zoun's 4-gate blink does come with a Warp Prism, so you just reinforce anyway with the Warp Prism with Warp Pins. So I guess that doesn't really impact the build as much. Meanwhile, Zoun does let the Pylon finish, does Pylon block, will delay the expansion. Meanwhile, Gerald, he doesn't quite pull off the same build. As both players open... Oh my god. Both players go for the Stargate. Both players open Stargate. Gerald is forced to because of the Pylon. Zoun chooses to, as he could have expanded. Okay. Fair enough. Stargate openers. Now, big brain play. If Zoun reads that his opponent went for a faster Stargate, which, I mean, for all he knows, it could be a Twilight Council, so he doesn't quite know, but it'll be big brain if he does open Phoenix. Otherwise, it should just be Oracles. It should be Oracles from both players. Adepse threaten the Shade. Does commit, but there's a full wall. Gerald's going to be hunted down. Likewise, Zoun, he gets into the main, he sees the Stargate, and he does open Phoenix. Let's go, Phoenix opener here out of Zoun. But again, he knows what he's up against. Meanwhile, Gerald, he does go for the Oracle as he has not seen the Stargate. So Gerald doesn't know what he's up against. He's working with incomplete information. And the goal for Zoun is to hunt down the Oracle, to hunt it down, and to shut down the opener of his opponent, and to overwhelm. As more Phoenixes are on the way. Robo follow-up into faster Immortal production. Meanwhile, Twilight Council follow-up here by Gerald. Going for Blink. So Oracle does move out. Adepts threaten the Shade. Gerald, he's keeping up. It's keeping up. Meanwhile, yeah, the Oracle gets completely shut down. Recall gets spent, Recall gets wasted, and here come the Phoenixes. Now, this should be Phoenix into Immortal production. Yeah, there we go. Immortals are on the way. Now, there's a bit of a give and take. On the one hand, we have Mass Phoenix. That is true. We can use this to harass. On the downside, though, on the other hand, Gerald, he does have Mass Blink Stalker building up. So to make up for the lack of Blink Stalker, Zoun, he needs his Immortals. He needs the Immortals here to support his army, to make up for the lack of Blink Stalkers. Meanwhile, we do see Gerald getting ready for a proxy gateway across the map. How many gates so far? 4. We have 3 at home, a 4th gateway across the map. From here, Gerald, he could just go for a 2-base all-in. I say could because he might just expand from here. Like, 4 gateways doesn't have to be an all-in. You can still expand. As we do wreak havoc here, 6 probes going down. And did I say 4 gates doesn't have to be an all-in? I stand by that. This is not 4 gateways. We have a second proxy. This is a 5-gate. 5-gate setup here. So Gerald, he's just doubling down. It's all or nothing for Gerald. And the thing is that he knows that he has the Stalker advantage. Oh no, he gets found! He gets found out. The proxy's gonna be shut down. Those are 2 gateways being depowered. Ay, ay, ay. From 5 down to 3. Just the only 3 gateways left. That's not enough. Gerald is still moving out. Back at home, we have Shield Batteries finishing up with more Immortals bouncing up as well. Again, that was just a massive catch here from Zoun to find the proxy. Now Zoun has to fight within range of his Shield Batteries. He cannot fight this head on. Does repower the proxy. And Gerald, he doesn't expand. He has a choice. He does not expand. He's going to commit, but it's going to be a delayed all-in out of Gerald. Does take the 3rd. But he's in a rough position. Again, because Gerald went up to 5 gateways, no Forge. No Forge, no upgrades. +1 is on the way for Zoun. Meanwhile, Phoenix, they force a recall. Oof. Zoun sees the expansion. And he knows he can soon break out. Ay, ay, ay. Jesus. Zoun, he responds with Jesus. 4 gates. This could have been an expansion. This could have been a 3rd, but no. Zoun, he throws down 4 more gateways. Charge, I believe, is not being researched. Charge on the way for Gerald. There we go. Charge out starting here for Zoun. Getting to his own Temple Archives. As we said, a big shout out to Jadolf in the chat. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Jadolf, for the raid. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great ladder session. Thank you, Papi. Thank you. Good to see you. Do appreciate it, as always. And welcome one and all to the RSL Asia server qualifiers. We're in the final qualifying match. We just had SHIN versus Creator, but now we have Zoun versus Gerald. And this is a best of 5 qualifying match. Stalkers, they go for the dive. Going for the 3rd. Forcing Zoun all in. But remember, Zoun, he did throw down all those gates. He has war pins. Oh, that's a kill. That's a kill, not a cancel. Ay, ay, ay. Gerald, he's popping off. And what's important is that Gerald, he isn't overmaking probes. Like, he's making like 2 probes at a time. Right now, he needs warpins, he needs zealots. Another kill! Wait, was that 2 kills on the Nexus? Zoun! Gerald's the one with ping? What's going on? Ay, 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 ay. 2 kills back to back. 800 minerals down the drain. Yo, a 3rd kill? Do we go back in? Este, Gerald. Papi, calm down. Zoun pushing right down mid. Gerald, he has been amassing up his own Charger Archon. Zoun is that much more committed, losing the base twice. There's 1 cancel and 2 kills. As those they do trickle in. Archons are ready for Gerald. And Gerald, he's here to shut this down. Zoun rotates in between the bases. But again, given time, Gerald, he will have a larger army. But there's no rush. There's no rush for Gerald. He just has to take it slow. Take it slow. Wait for extra warpins. Gerald flirting with the army. Does commit. Yeah, it does commit in. Some of his army isn't quite engaging. Feedback on the Phoenix. Does push forward. But where are those zealots? We need more. Yeah, Gerald, he does need more warpins. As those immortals are doing so much damage to the back line. Gerald, he kites back. Again, he needs more zealots. Gerald pulling away. Yeah, Zoun takes a better fight. I do think that Gerald engaged too soon there. Or he committed too hard, I should say. Boys are being pulled. It's still a rough fight for Gerald. Yeah, as probes are going down, immortals are somewhat exposed. Still a rough fight. But Zoun may just have too much. Yeah, Zoun, he has too much here. Gerald bleeding out 20 workers. May have killed 2 bases, may have delayed the push. But Zoun, he just has too much here. The army just so tanky, so beefy. GG gets called, and Zoun, he will take a lead in the series at 2-1. Whew, GG. GG, well played. Gerald, I will say that he was in a decent position there, but unfortunately, it wasn't just that he engaged too soon. His engage was also lackluster. If you remember, we did try to point it out, but when he tried to fight the army, he had a bunch of his supply behind the Stalkers. I'm referring to the Archons. I'm referring to a bunch of Stalkers that just weren't fighting. They weren't engaging. They were basically wasted DPS there. The Zealots came in too soon as well. Time was on Gerald's side. Just had to take it a little bit slower there, and in the end, he committed. In the end, GG. GG, well played. Zoun, he does claim it. And now Zoun is 1 game away from qualifying for the RSL. One more game is all he needs. And we'll see if Gerald can recover and force the ace match. Whew. And again, this has been a very intense series as well. Again, I can see a world where Gerald takes that game instead. Even game 2 as well. Like, if it wasn't for the DTs, like, Gerald was also in a commanding position. But let's go. We're jumping in. As game 4 is going to be on Maganatha. We go. We are getting to Maganatha here. The largest map in the map pool. Oh boy. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Maganatha, we have the South Korean Protoss. They've changed sides. We have the South Korean Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing Team Vitality, 1 game away from qualifying for the main event for the Revival StarCraft League. It is Zoun. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the red Protoss player from the land of Poland, representing Streamer Zone. He has to fight back here and now to force the ace match. It is Gerald. We go, and welcome one and all to Maganatha. Again, a very large map in the map pool, or the largest even. But we'll see how our players will approach this. So far, setting up on the high ground, Zoun the first to send out his probe. Does send out across the map. And we'll see if either player does cut corners. There we go, 2 gate opener out of Gerald, 2 gate opener out of Zoun. Do you have our 2 gate openers? Zoun disrupting the economy, being as annoying as possible. Gerald moving out with this probe. Skirting around the edge of the map, or I should say through the center, but I's gonna scout. He's moving out for scouting. No proxy from either player this entire series, by the way. I mean, we have seen, I should say, we have seen proxies in the mid game, like proxy 4th gate or proxy 5th gate. That has happened from both sides, but we haven't hidden any tech, I should say. And there's been no one base all-ins. Meanwhile, we have our units of choice, going to be Stalker, Sentry out of Zoun. Meanwhile, we have Sentry, Stalker out of Gerald. Here we go. As I said, Lindsay said, big shout out in the chat. Thank you so much, Barcode, or Lily. Thanks so much, Barcode in the chat. Thank you so much for the Twitch Prime. Hope you enjoy the content. Hope you enjoy the casting. Hope you enjoy the StarCrafts. Welcome, welcome. Likewise, hope you enjoy the emotes as well. We do, of course, have a set of emotes in the Twitch chat. We also give out replay packs to our subscribers. Replay packs are handed out. 2 tournaments that we have permission to share, of course. There are some tournaments that we don't. For example, KSL, they have their own Patreon, their own replay system. RSL as well, they have their own Patreon, they have their own replay system, so we don't tread on their toes. But thank you so much, thank you. Do appreciate it. As we do have a Twilight Council opener out of Gerald. Working towards Blink. Both players are expanding, of course. And Twilight Council out of Zoun. So Blink is on the way. So far, we're just building up, and no major deviations yet. Hallucination does confirm the tech, making sure there's no Stargate. Remember, last game we had Stargate openers from both players, which got very chaotic. This time, no Stargate. Both players scout, both players confirm, and both players expand. We do have non-stop hallucination scouts. This is also why it's actually quite difficult to hide tech in PvP, just because, especially with the energy overcharge, it is so common to have non-stop hallucinations like this. To scout tech to confirm there's nothing crazy, nothing wild. Despite that, I mean, we have seen instances where DTs do get out of hand. But it's all the more impressive if you are able to hide it and keep it hidden from your opponent. Just because of these hallucinations. You see Gerald in position to expand. Again, this is the largest map, so we're a little bit more prone to expanding and macroing and building up into a longer game state. There it is, 3rd base for Gerald. And Zoun does fan out his probes, searching for proxies. For those who don't know, with your Sentry, if you hallucinate a worker, then you actually make 4 probes. 4 workers are made. The downside is that they are limited by the terrain, unlike hallucination phoenixes, which can just go wherever they want, but you're able to scout and kind of gain ground or gain more ground faster by spreading out and fanning off in 4 different directions to look for proxies. So Zoun confirms there is no proxy. Geralt walling up, knocking down the tower, or knocking down this tower, and securing himself. And we are trying to force the mid-game, which we haven't had so far. The games have gotten up to around 3 bases, that is true, but it's been the hyper-aggression and non-stop all-ins, basically. We haven't gotten up to a 4-base setup or a 4-base economy. We tried to get there on ley lines, and the game ended real fast and real quick. But both players are expanding, both players are calming down. We're taking up Forge on the way, Robo as well. Zoun has yet to throw down any upgrades or any tech. He's throwing down extra gateways. Okay. So no charge, no Forge, no +1, a gateway explosion instead. It looks like Zoun wants to be the aggressor, based on what we're seeing. Yep, Prism. Prism's on the way so we can reinforce. So Zoun will soon move out. It's going to be on Gerald to spot this ahead of time, to slow it down, and to defend. As you can see, Gerald is fully saturated on 3 bases. No gases at the natural, which means he's going for a very zealot-heavy composition. Oh no! Please out of Stalker. Meanwhile, Zoun, he does have 1 Stalker at his... Sorry, 1 Gas Geyser at his natural. So going to be reinforcing with extra stalkers. Adepts are moving into harass. 6 gates on the way for Gerald. Again, just going mass zealots, going for another expansion as well. Shays into the natural. And of course, Zoun commits. Remember, Zoun, he's all in. Zoun, he's only on 47 workers. He's only on half saturation and no probes here at the third, essentially. So 2.5 base all in out of Zoun. The longer this goes on, the worse it's going to be for Zoun. So he has to end the game here and now. Does move in. Does that position. He has the high ground. Yeah, Zoun has the high ground. He has a better position. He can head towards the natural. Gerald has to push up the ramp into the Protoss. Into Zoun. Oh. Prism does get away, and last are just not enough zealots here. Gerald, he needs more time. Remember, Gerald, he was getting a 4th base. Snipes a Prism, but Gerald is being overwhelmed. He needed more time, needed more warp ins. Zealots on low, but it's too late. It's too little too late. Zoun, he has done it. He breaks on through. Breaks through the main army, breaks through the Stalkers. GG, and Zoun, he will take the series 3-1 with the 2.5 base all in and qualify for the RSL. GG. GG, well played. Gerald, he had the better economy. He had more bases. He was on a lower gas count. Gerald needed a little bit more time to warp in another wave of zealots, but he didn't have that time. Zoun was all in. Zoun was all or nothing. He was able to strike just before the gateways got up and running, just before the warp ins, and Gerald, he was caught with his pants down. GG. GG, well played. Zoun, he will qualify for the Revival StarCraft League alongside SHIN. Congratulations here as we can switch our scenes over and catch up on the brackets. Again, we have our 2 qualified players. It was a bit of a shorter bracket here, but Zoun and SHIN have done it. They've made it through. Again, Gerald, shout out to Gerald. He played very well. Even despite the ping disadvantage, Gerald, I can see a world where he could have won game 2 and game 3 as well, to be honest. Like, I can definitely see this going to the ace match or even just going in favor of Gerald. There's some really close and really clutch games, just a couple of minute details that didn't go his way. And again, I'm sure part of that, I mean, you know, your mental state, you're a little bit off center, you're a little bit you know, uncomfortable, of course, by playing out with higher ping on a different server. I mean, it's a server qualifier for a reason, to be fair. You know, it is meant to favor the Koreans, but with that, GG. GG, well played. In the end, Zoun and SHIN will make it through, and best of luck to Gerald, because even though he doesn't make it through this qualifier, we still have the European qualifier. There's still a European server qualifier. That's going to be tomorrow. That is going to be here tomorrow. As we can have a look at the schedule here. You can't see it because it is technically on Monday in Korea. So Monday morning at around like 2 a.m. to around like 2 a.m. in the morning is going to be the European qualifier. We will be there. We'll be awake. We'll roll on our sleep schedule and be there for those qualifiers. So don't you worry. The final European server qualifier will be tomorrow in over 24 hours on the CranKy Ducklings here on the channel. GG. And again, I'm sure we'll see Gerald. I'm sure he'll be there for that event. Meanwhile, we have our own broadcast coming up in a couple of hours at 1 a.m. KST. What do we have? We have the Anonymous Cup. Oh boy, I believe we have a new command in the chats. We'll get there, but in how many hours time? It's going to be at 1 a.m. KST. That's going to be 2 a.m. AST. That's going to be in 1.5 hours. Around? No, 2.5. Let me just double check. Yeah, sorry, 3.5. Oh my god. I was hoping this would be a little bit longer. Aye. But yes, in 3.5 hours, in 3.5 hours time, I might nap, I might sleep in between, we'll see. But in 3.5 hours time, we are going to be live on this channel with the Anonymous Cup. If you're curious, if you're going to be there, I mean, I recommend it. It's a unique tournament where the viewer can earn money. You in the chat, you can earn some money here. Now, the way that the Anonymous Cup is going to work, it's going to be a King of the Hill format. King of the Hill, 20 best of ones. It's a 2-day event. You can see on the schedule Sunday morning and Sunday evening, so it's going to be a 2-day event, of course. It's going to be in 3.5 hours and then tomorrow evening as well. The way that it works here is that we are going to have a bunch of players play on alternate IDs. We're going to have a set of players playing on alternate IDs. They're going to play in that King of the Hill format, and you in the chat, you can try to determine yourself, and it's gonna put your skills to the test when it comes to how much StarCraft you watch. Can you recognize players purely by their play style. And there's going to be a Google Doc. There's going to be a Google Doc in the chat, and you can submit your predictions. Now, it is quite strict in the sense that you cannot submit multiple times for one player. Once you lock in a prediction for a player, you're locked in. Like, you can't like spam predictions, otherwise it's going to be null. It's going to be void. So if you try to like spam a bunch of predictions for a player, then you know, you're going to screw yourself over in that kind of scenario. Likewise, it is also case sensitive in the sense that you have to spell the name correctly, you have to type it correctly as well. If you're predicting a player like, I don't know, like GG Machine, GG Machine is going to be a tough one. If you're predicting a player like GG Machine, he has capital G, capital M, capital C. If you misspell it, then it's not going to count. So it is very strict in that, the Google form, I should say, is a little bit strict in that sense. So you got to make sure you're able to spell it correctly with correct capitalizations as well. Just as a heads up. And of course, it is going to be a European-centric tournament. A bunch of CIS players, probably a bunch of Polish players potentially as well, depending on who Minovike is able to get together. But it is going to be a lot of fun. And again, you can predict, you can place your guess, your prediction on who you think each player is. And at the end of the event, at the end of the tournament, the person in the chat with the most amount of correct predictions will earn some money. You don't earn money based on like each prediction. It's the most predictions you get correct throughout the course of the event. We're going to be keeping track of viewers and their rankings in their predictions, and again, whoever comes out on top will earn some prize money. So there you go. Spelling, yes, there you go. Art versus art, true. Art versus art, true. It is spelling sensitive. I don't know if it's case sensitive, but you know, just make sure you get it correct on that sort of thing, just in case. So that's going to be in 3.5 hours. It's going to be a lot of fun. Bearing in mind that, again, it is a more European-centric, so I wouldn't be surprised if Gerald takes part in that. Minovike, Wayne, Young Yakov, GG Machine, alongside Nickeract, Strange, and many others. Maybe Bratok. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. Tonight is going to be 10 best of ones, and tomorrow is going to be another 10 best of ones. So yeah, it's a bit of a unique, fun format where the viewer can earn money. When it comes to earning money, I believe when it comes to submitting your guess, your prediction, I think there's a slot there for like your PayPal email account. So then you can be paid out prize money if you were to, you know, in the end be the winner and have the most correct predictions. So look forward to it. Look forward to it. It's a unique format. We'll see how well it goes. And if it goes well, I'm sure we'll see more of it in the future. It's called the Anonymous Cup. The Anonymous Cup. Oh, there you go. Kuro is letting us know. Day 1, 8 CIS players and 3 European players. So already you're being given a little bit of information when it comes to predictions. So you know not to like guess a Korean or something, or guess like a North American player. When it comes to those 3 Europeans, based on like the group of players involved, like I would assume some Polish players, maybe like a Gerald, a Christianer. In my mind, like those are the kind of players that they'd bring in. But it's hard to say. Maybe a Skilless as well. Like it's hard to say. But yeah, don't know CIS plays very well. I do think that it's going to be hard to distinguish between certain players and their play styles. I think there are certain players that are easy. Like Strange is really unique with his play style. I do think that, like for example, like Young Yakov and Wayne have really similar ZVZ. Like if they played a ZVZ, if we get like two Zurich players in a ZVZ, like Young Yakov and Wayne and GG Machine as well, like they're all 3 of them are really chaotic in ZVZ. Like that'll be a hard one to tell. And I guess I'll be helping a little bit as well, because for example, Wayne is really fond of all-ins and ZVP, right? Young Yakov a little bit less so. There's little things like that you can use to help you out a little bit. But there are definitely some stylistic players. Milky Cow is an animal. Like Milky Cow is hyper aggressive as a Terran. And I think he'll be a little bit easier to point out. Like comparing Milky Cow and Nickeract, like Milky Cow is more aggressive, more all-in, depending on the matchup. True, depending on the matchup, because Nickeract, he's really fond of 2-base all-ins in TVP. And he's really fond of some certain builds in TVZ as well. There are some tells. I think there are some tells, depending on the player. But regardless, we'll get into that in the next broadcast. For now, we're going to be wrapping up. Before I get ahead of myself talking about Secret Castle. Oh, I mean, I won't know who's playing either. But like we also cast these players on a regular basis, so I can like, you know, help out, and I can like give some hints as to certain play styles that people enjoy playing and stuff. I'll get my own predictions in as well. Let's go. True. But with that, I recognize Milky out Skillless, Gerald, Mana, Cristiano probably, depending on the matchup. Yeah. True. But with that, we're going to be wrapping up. And again, before I get ahead of myself, if you want to support the Revival StarCraft 2 League, you can do so via the Patreon, !RSL in the chat. Bam. There you go. We do have the Patreon link for the RSL. So Revival StarCraft League, it is funded by the people for the people. I mean, there's a lot of Patreons out there, whether it's for RSL, whether it's for some of these other tournaments like us, like the CranKy Ducklings, or GSL or KSL. There's a lot of ways out there to support some grassroots StarCraft, but this is, you know, one of the big ones here. It's a big initiative by Tasteless, by State, by Gemini, by Ziggy as well. There's a lot of effort, a lot of passion put into this, so give them some love, give them some support over on Patreon, and look forward to the European qualifier tomorrow and the main event. When it comes to the main event, we most likely won't be casting it. If they hand out replays, then maybe we'll step in, right? Maybe we'll cover the replays after the fact. But I believe for the most part, they'll be hosting the event at an offline venue. I say offline venue, like offline studio. So they're gonna have like a studio broadcast, like quote unquote home story cup style, with like a couch, with everyone getting involved in Korea, of course. And I believe, depending on the support on Patreon, they're gonna fly players over for the playoffs. So ideally, they want to fly players over, like the international players that make it far, to Korea so they can compete and play offline. So it's a big initiative, and yeah, do support them. Do support them over for the RSL. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. Again, our next broadcast is going to be in 3.5 hours. Likewise, we have Sparkling Tuna Cup tomorrow. We have Anonymous Cup in 3 hours and tomorrow as well. And if you want us to help support the CranKy Ducklings, Patreon in the chat. We have our own Patreon as well. I know we're asking for a lot to support one tournament, support other tournaments, for sure, but it's up to you. Even just watching is good enough, right? Even just watching, even just following the channel, following us on YouTube as well, socials in the chat. You can subscribe on YouTube, you can watch us there. We do upload VODs on a daily basis, so plenty of content. We cast every day as well. You can see our schedule twice a day, almost every single day. Plenty of content on YouTube, plenty of casting. Honestly, we're overbooked. We do it like this. Up next is going to be our third broadcast for the day, so we do a lot of casting on the channel. We cast more than anyone else. We do what we can. We do what we can for StarCraft. The passion is there, baby. The passion is there. Otherwise, thanks for watching. We're going to be heading off, and again, we'll be back in 3 hours. Stick around. We're going to be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid. We're going to be streaming Gemini. He was actually casting on his own channel, and Gemini is one of the big names behind the RSL, so give him some love, give him some support. We'll give Gemini a raid as he is laddering, and he's an animal. It's getting quite late in Korea, so give him some love as he's working behind the scenes. Otherwise, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Till then, hasta luego. Ciao, papi, ciao. Hasta luego. See you next time.